Hello and welcome! This character profile video is for the class Woosa. And what you'll see is all of her skills, the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend, her skill combos, enhancements, player card, and a gameplay video. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present the class to you, Woosa! Here we go. And welcome to the skill slide. If you are new to my character profile videos, allow me to introduce the interface. On the left hand side is all of her skills. On the right hand side are all the specials that go with those skills. And then the column CD is cooldown for each skill. Next to that is charges, or how many times you can use the skill. And then hits is how many times the skill will hit a creature or opponent. And then damage-PVE is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against a creature in the world. And damage-PVP is the highest percentage damage that skill will do against another player's character. And of course you have the passive at the bottom. So just a few things to mention here, and that is, you'll notice in the special section the areas that are colored red, like forward guard and SA. If you look at the bottom left corner, this just means that these things are not applied in the section of the game called Arena. Everywhere else in the game it'll work just fine, but when you go into Arena it won't be there for you. So heads up. The other thing is the passive, the name of it is colored in purple, and it goes with the things you see in the special section. That's because they're connected. I will definitely go over the passive and all the details about what to do and how it works in the PVP slide. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the PVE slide. Here we go. And welcome. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVE, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Wing Beat is your highest damaging skill. So what I also wanted to call to your attention is, why is there a section colored in green? It's because we can only take 8 skills into the world at a time, and these are the 8 that I recommend because of the damage percentage. Now, it's a recommendation. You do not have to just stick with just these things, and I honestly hope you don't. This is where you would start. Once you get comfortable with this, then please do include the other skills like Stormfall, the Butterfly Step, and a Butterfly's Dream. I mean, a Butterfly's Dream is your heal. So if you're having a tough time out there and the monsters are just, really hurting you, having your heal available is helpful. Maybe replace it with, let's see. How about Sagunda? It's pronounced Sagunja Chrysanth or Sagunja Orchid. Those are simple skills that you could probably replace with a heal. Other than that, take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the PvP slide. There's a lot to talk about. Here we go. And welcome. What I've done is I've taken all the skills and I've organized them according to the column of damage-PVP, with the highest percentage at the top all the way down to the lowest at the bottom. And Wing Beat continues to be your highest damaging skill. So you already know about the green section and what that represents. The other question that I always am asked is, what skills can I use that give me super armor without having to mess with which ones work in Arena and which ones don't? And those skills are Sagunja Bamboo, Stormhold, and the third one is Sagunja Plum. So personally, I would select the highest damaging one, which is Sagunja Bamboo, but you may have a personal favorite of the three, but those are the ones that I definitely have for you. There's always three or less. So the other thing I wanted to cover is the passive. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it to you, and I have changed the definition of boundless vessel to make more sense and what it is, and I will explain everything. And after I explain it, there's a video showing you what the passive looks like. So these are things that are going to happen. So let's go ahead and start. The passive is called Enlightened, and you apply Enlightened for 20 seconds upon a skill use. Yes, any skill aside from the the Swallowtail Fan Mastery, you know, your basic attack, will trigger your passive. And it stacks up to 4 times. So if I continue reading to the right, what happens when your passive is active for Enlightened is your skill damage goes up 6%, and again it stacks up to 4 times. So 24%. The PvP damage taken minus 5%, up to 4 stacks, so up to minus 20% for PvP damage taken. And then you have the things that are enhanced when you're Enlightened. It is the skill Wingbeat, Sagunja Plum, and Cloud Rise. When your Boundless Vessel is full at 5 stacks, then you would want to use the enhancements for those 3 skills. And again, going down to Boundless Vessel, whenever Woosa is struck, every 2 seconds you get 1 stack. And quite honestly, I believe the accurate statement is whenever she's hit, which you'll see, you get a stack of Boundless Vessel. And when you get to 5 stacks or 5 dots, your next skill that you use, not the standard one, Swallowtail Fan Mastery, not the basic attack, but all the other ones, the next skill you use will spend all 5 stacks, and you'll get an extra 1000 fixed damage. Now, the video may confirm that 1000, but I can definitely assure you that your damage is increased. So, what I'm going to do is I want to go to a still image that shows the interface, and I want to point these things out. So, I'm going to bring that up. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Okay, this should definitely help put things into perspective. So, the top 3 skills, Wingbeat, Sagunja Plum, and Cloud Rise, are the ones that have the enhancements along with the passive. So we're going to be using those, and then the 3 skills at the bottom are just the ones that activate. I'm going to use one of those to show that 1000 fixed damage. You know, the bottom right one that looks like 3 missiles coming at you. Anyway, now you see where it says Boundless Vessel? That is the 5 dots I was talking about. When you get hit, you'll generate a dot, or what they call a stack. And when you get hit 5 times, you fill up all that space, and then the next skill you use will be additional damage aside from normal damage that you do. And then of course to the left, this is where you'll see the icon for your passive being active. And the video will definitely point this out a lot better than this image, but I wanted you to have an idea of what you're looking for and where. So what we're going to do now is bring up that video. So let me cue that up. Here we go. Okay, so we are at Pila Ku Prison, and coincidentally I picked a place that was pretty popular. But we're going to do our best to show you everything. So at the bottom was the skills. In the middle there is the Boundless Vessel section. And what we're going to do first is find one creature that will be able to fill up our Boundless Vessel bar, just to show you that you do need to get hit 5 times. But I didn't count on him being so slow. We could have lunch waiting for him to finish. Oh look, he added a buddy. Isn't that nice? So this is how you fill up that bar, and when it gets to 5, you can use any skill which will increase the normal damage to be a little bit higher. But we're going to activate one of the 3 at the top to show you what the passive looks like, the icon for the passive. And there it is, right there. And there it is, Enlightened. It's 20 seconds, unless you keep using your skills, and increase its stack up to 4. And that's what we're doing. We're showing that it goes up to 4 stacks completely. There we go. Alright, now for the hard part. What we're going to do is try to prove to you that the normal damage increases when you have 5 stacks of Boundless Vessel. So pay attention to the numbers above their head. And that didn't take. Let's try it again. There we go. 8,500. And normal damage is, say, 8,003. I know this is not the 1,000 fixed damage you were told, but this is actually for you to play around and decide. But the damage does increase. Didn't want to die on the spot during this, so what we're going to do now is let's return back to the PvP slide. Here we go. And welcome back. So now that you know how the passive works, and you know the details behind it with Boundless Vessel and how Enlightened works, and just a reminder, you want to get your Boundless Vessel up to 5, so get hit 5 times, and when it's fully at full stacks, then when you use the enhancements or the enhance for wing beat, if you look at the top right, then your attack range for wing beat will be increased 30%. And Sagunja Plum, if you look at that all the way over to the right, when it's fully at full stacks, then you'll add 1.5% target maximum HP damage on hit. But this only applies to other players and not creatures in the world. So if I just spoke a lot of what the heck you just said, 1.5% of the targets or the player's character's maximum health is going to go back at them as damage when you have full stacks and you use Sagunja Plum. That's what that means. And then of course Cloud Rise, when you're fully stacked, you get minus 10% damage on hit. So these are really good things in the PvP world, especially if you're fighting creatures that are tougher than you. Maybe the Cloud Rise would be a benefit to you so that you get hit for less damage. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the skill combo slide. Here we go. And welcome. So what you're looking at here is a skill combo screen that Pearl Abyss has provided, but first I'd like to tell you where you can find this. If you're in the game and you bring up the menu screen and you look all the way over to the right where it says skills, you tap on that, and now you're on the skill screen, and you look to the middle and down, you'll see a magnifying glass with a circle around it, and it will say skill combos to the right of it. tap on that, and a little box will come up showing list of skill combos. So what I've done is I've taken the entire list and I fit it onto one screen. Now you can print this out if you want, or have it on another monitor if you have one, so that you can practice your combos. Or if you want to print it out, I always make this comment, be kind if it's not your printer, because it's a little heavy on the color. Maybe black and white would be best. So the way that this works, now that you know where to find it, is the skills that are in blue on the left hand side is what you would start with. And the skills to the right in gray are your options of what to do next. Looking at this, I have spotted a first. There has always been infinite combinations on some characters, but what Woosa has is a 6 original hit combo that turns into an infinite 6 hit combo, or whatever you wish to do. And here's how it starts. If you look on the right hand side at the top, you would start with Sagunja Bamboo. Then you would chain it into Sagunja Plum. That's on the left hand side, second one down. And then you would connect it to Wingbeat. Wingbeat would go to Sagunja Plum again, and then you would go to Sagunja Orchid, and then Sagunja Chrysanth. There is your 6 hit combo. But it doesn't stop there. As you can see, you can infinitely go to Sagunja Plum and navigate all around, but you can't get back to Sagunja Bamboo, and that's okay. There's plenty of creativity for you to do. So this is how the skill combos screen works. It's just like my recommendations. Start with practicing these things. Simply Wingbeat to Sagunja Plum and get good, and over time you'll see which ones you like to do, and you'll develop your own combos in your own style. But this is a good starting point. So take a moment to look at everything here, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the next slide, which is the enhancement slide. Here we go. And welcome. So there is a lot to cover on the enhancement slide, so let's go ahead and knock out the basics. What you're looking at for the interface on the left hand side is all of her skills. On the far right hand side is all the branch damage connected to those skills. And then there's 4 columns in the center going from left to right. The first one, second, and fourth are enhancements that help your Woosa. The third column is things that happen to the creature or the player's character you're fighting against. And sometimes it doesn't always work out that way, but that's the general layout. Now, you may ask, what the heck are enhancements? This is my best explanation, is if you're in the game and you bring up the menu screen and you go to tap on skills on the right hand side, and now you're on the skills screen, and you tap on, say, let's choose Wingbeat. Tap on Wingbeat, and now you'll see the icon for Wingbeat on the left of it, and there'll be these circles around that icon. Those are enhancements or things that will add to when you use the skill of Wingbeat. For example, when you unlock it and you use Wingbeat, you have the option of making the forward guard turn into super armor. So grant super armor instead of forward guard, or you unlock the plus 20 attack AP for 10 seconds on hit. Let me say that differently. Or you can unlock the ability to increase your CP by 20 for attack damage for 10 seconds. The third column is the creature or player's character you're fighting against. Whenever you use Wingbeat, it will hit them with a move speed of minus 10% for 10 seconds. So the way that this works is while you're in the world of Elion or Hadum and you're farming and fighting the creatures of the world, you'll get these drops. They're books and they're skill books. So you either pay some silver and learn it and increase your knowledge and skill of, like, say, Wing Beat. And the reason you do that is because it helps improve the skill. But sometimes when you're looking at Wing Beat, and let's just say the plus 20 attack for 10 seconds on hit will have a red number next to it, say number 2, that means you need to collect skill books for Wing Beat to get it up to level 2. And just don't quote me on this, but an estimate of how many books is, if it says or shows 2 or 3 books and you're there. So gives you a general idea, but like I said, don't quote me on that in case you said 2 books and it's not there. No. So once you get your skill up to 2, then you'll be able to pay some silver, unlock it, and now every time you use Wing Beat, your CP will increase by 20 for attack. So that's how it works. When you fight in Hadum in treasure chests, you'll notice they're higher quality skill books. So there's always an incentive for going from Elion into Hadum, and that's where we all are, is farming in Hadum because the respawn is so much quicker. And the goal is you want to unlock all of this. Why? Well, if you look at Segunja Plum, the 4th one down, and go all the way over to the right, there's a heal. So every time you use that, you will heal yourself for 170 HP per hit. And Segunja Plum hits 4 times. So that ought to be of interest to you. So there is a reason why the word heal is colored differently, and that means it doesn't apply in Path of Glory. So she'll heal everywhere else in the game when you unlock it, but just not Path of Glory. So take a moment to look at everything here on the enhancement slide, and when you're ready, we'll move on to the player card. Here we go. And welcome to the player card. It is like a baseball card. It is all the slides you previously saw, except there's something new. And let me go ahead and introduce how this works. At the very top is all the top 8 PVE and PVP skills that I recommend. And to the right of that is the something new, and that is called immobilization. Anytime that Woosa stuns, knocks down or knocks back, or anything that will immobilize the creature or player's character you're fighting, they need to take time to get up. And when they do, that's an opportunity for you to get a couple hits in. So what you're looking at for immobilization are skills that will do it in green, and then there's how many immobilizations do you have. So let's take Stormfall, the one at the top, for example. If you look down to skills and you look at Stormfall, which is the second one, and you go all the way to the right, it says pulls enemies, and then SA is super armor, and there it is. You have daze, and you can knock down the creature or player's character you're fighting. Why is this all important? I will explain as we get to the bottom of the player card. So this is how the immobilization section works, and you already know about the skills, and we just got through talking about the enhancements. So right below that is a legend for what is not applied in Path of Glory and what is not applied in Arena. And below that, if you have been wondering throughout this video, what is forward guard and what is super armor? Here you go. Forward guard. This means that incoming damage will either be 0 or heavily reduced. Think of forward guard like an invisible shield in front of you. The opponent is in front, they're trying to damage you straight on, but that damage is either going to be 0 or heavily reduced. If they get behind you, then it would be normal damage. But as long as they're in front and you keep them in front of you, you're the one laughing all the way to the bank. So, super armor. This means that incoming damage will be reduced, and the effects that immobilize you, like stun, knockdown, freeze, etc., will not happen for a duration of time. This is what everyone who does PvP focuses on, is to get a skill that has super armor active so that they can be prevented from being knocked down. This is why when you look at the immobilization section, you want to be using Stormfall, Wingbeat, Sagunja Plum, at a minimum, these 3 skills, because you're throwing a total of 7 immobilizations at them all the time. And the more immobilizations you throw at your opponent, the chance of you getting that one in when their super armor fails, you'll see them fall down or get knocked back or knock up, and that's your opportunity to get in one more hit, maybe 2 more hits, and that really can turn the tide of a battle. So this is why it's important, and this is why it's being listed. And that is how the player card works. So take a moment to look at all this. What we're going to do is the music is going to change. We're going to go into a gameplay video where we show you what Woosa can do. Here we go. And welcome to the gameplay video. Before we get started, let us show you where we're at. We're over here in Balanos, and we are at, let's change it, Kron Castle entrance. And we're here because we're always here. Their CP is 2519 and ours is a meager 20-some thousand. She'll be a-okay. So the way this works is we'll use this auto path, and she will go in and fight for about 2, maybe 3 minutes, at which time we'll go to town. I'll say my outro and say thank you. So, without further ado, I am pleased to present to you the class Woosa. Here we go. And it's just about time to head back to town. Just a few more hits, there we go. So while the loading screen comes up real fast, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, Please subscribe, like, let people know I am always making more videos, and there are so many more videos left to do. So what we're going to do now here is put Woosa in a pose and zoom in, with the background. There we go. And we always want to check out what her wave looks like and her clap. So that was cool. How about her clap? Oh, very nice. And one more time, let's have her wave. So thank you very much, and you have a great day. Take care. Bye now.